Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Today's class will focus on the pelvic area, and we'll be doing some seated poses, we'll be doing some twisting, which will address this whole internal system here, both good for men and women. So let's just get started. Before we start our practice, I wanted to let you know about my online programs and workshops. Whether you're new to Iyengar yoga and want to learn the basics in a systematic way, a seasoned practitioner looking to revisit the essentials, or a yoga teacher seeking inspiration. These programs and workshops are self-paced, allowing you to make consistent progress and revisit specific topics whenever you like. You can find the link in the description below. With that said, let's begin our practice today. We're going to sit first, just sit, have a blanket, sit cross legs, Sukhasana. From there, let's bring the feet together, come into Baddha Konasana. So if your knees are lifted quite a bit, you can take that blanket and fold the blanket, or have a couple blankets. We'll start in some seated poses just to begin with. So bringing the feet against one another, the soles of the feet against one another, bring the feet in, take the hands underneath the ankles, keeping that contact of the balls, the soles of the feet, the heels, lengthen through the inner leg. And as you hold onto the ankle, lift yourself up. So the trunk is lengthened from both sides. The waist is descending, the hips are descending, the legs are lengthening, but also descending. As you get that length and drawing back through the outer hip, you start to be able to release the leg downward. So feeling that action, lifting up through the crown of the head. So observing the length through the front body, your inhalation lifting up, your exhalation moving down through the back, and feeling that there's a circular action. So inhale, lifting up, exhaling, moving down, and lifting up. So staying in that circular action. Start to come forward. Bring your forearms on your thighs, on your shins, and just come forward. Keep that press of the feet, keep that length moving through to the knees, and bring your hands just in front of you. Walk your hands forward, and just breathe into the back body, lift the chest. Be aware of what you feel, sensations. If you've got any kind of knee injury, just stay upright, keeping the knee lifted. Don't attempt to push it down if it's giving you any kind of pain. So just watching what you feel in your body. All right, coming from Baddha Konasana, let's go into Upavistha. So spread your legs. I like to bring my heels onto the front of the mat. That way I know the legs are pretty much symmetrical. Okay, so I can see the space on one side of the heel to the mat and the other side, and then the heels are lined up. Take the inner thigh back, adjust the buttocks so you feel that you're right on the center of the thigh. So the head of the femur bone here, moving the femur bone down. Bring your fingertips back behind you. Use the fingertips on the floor, pressing down, and get that extension through the side trunk. So the front armpit chest is lifting, descending through the back armpit chest, drawing the kneecaps up. Feel that the back of the knee is moving toward the floor. So you're on a blanket. Depending on how much height, you may feel that the legs are not on the floor. That's okay, but just moving the legs down. I'm on one blanket here, and it's folded, and I can still feel the calves, the backs of the knees, thighs moving down. So have that direction with the thighs, the lift of the knees. Spread the toes, draw the toes back towards you, activating the legs. And then I'm going to bring my arms up. So let's just take a strap, just to begin with. Take that strap up, reach the arms up, pull the strap away from each hand away from one another, so you feel that the upper back is broadening. And as you lift up, shoulder blades moving down, pubic bone lifting up, again, coming to that circular action, inhale, lifting up, exhale, moving down. Doing that a few times, but keep the legs grounded. So stay with your foundation, which are your legs and your hips. And as you lift up, be aware of your breath. Relax your shoulders, relax your face, and hold that strap so that you can pull it and feel the upper back broad. Stay there for a few breaths. Turning the arm, the outer arm turning, inner arm moving toward the wall so that you can feel the rotation of the arms and that broadness through the upper back. And then take your strap down. Come forward any amount. So now you're feeling the weight more on the backs of the legs. Just allow that to happen, spreading the backs of the thighs. Be on the fingertips, folding forward. Extend the heels. Keep the hips moving down. From the hips, descending down, find your lower back. Where the pants are in the back, your waistband, lift up from there, lift up through the chest. Keep lifting up through the kneecap, tightening the quadricep, extending the calves. You can go a little bit further, bring your forearms down onto the floor. Otherwise, keep the fingertips pressing and lengthen forward. Stay for a few more breaths. Find the front groin, the connection of the femur bone to the pelvis. Soften there. Feel the waist corners, the abdominal, the side walls of the abdomen, moving back and lifting up. And then come up. Baddha Konasana, turn the hands, press the hands up, reach up. So now, from here, after you've got this length, using the arms to create that space through the side trunk, you're going to take your right hand down in the center between the legs, take your left hand behind you. If you're sitting on a lot of height and you need to have some height so you're not sinking, either be close to the wall, taking the hand on the wall, or have something, either a blanket, bolster, or brick. So you're not sinking and leaning. You want to maintain that length through both sides. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. So as you turn, be aware of that turning from the back body and that opening into the front body. Maintaining, I'm turning to the left, so my right femur bone is moving down. Even though I'm moving to this side, I maintain that balance on both hips. Exhale, come back to the center. Reach the arms up, change the cross on the fingers. Lift up, Baddha Konasana. Thighs descending. We're going to be turning to the left. So now the right, we're going to be turning to the right. So the left femur bone is moving down. So keep that, just reground through that femur bone, thigh descending, and then reach the arms up, turn, come into Parsva Upavistha. Be on the fingertips, inhale, lengthen, exhale, turn. So keeping that weight on that back sitting bone, but also on the front sitting bone, will help you to maintain that balance between both legs. Extend through the heels. Keep the feet active, keep the kneecaps lifting. Breathe. Find that breadth and width across the front of the chest. Exhale, coming back. And now, bring your legs back into Baddha Konasana. Holding on to the ankles again, lift the chest. Begin to come forward. You can use the forearms again, pressing on the legs. Walk your hands forward. If when you are in this and you need to have a little bit more support, you can walk your hands forward on blocks. So just always having those blocks handy so you can see what's happening in your body and do you need to take a little bit more support. So here I've taken the blocks. They're a little bit higher. So I can start to slide my hands forward, bring my head between my arms. Feeling that inner length for the inner leg. From the outer knee, drawing back to the outer hip. And then look up, come up, and now come back into Upavistha. Bring the legs out to the side. Now I'm on this blanket and I would like to go a little bit lower. So if you're practicing and you don't need that blanket, make sure you take it away. All right, if the lower back is sinking. So again, adjusting the inner thighs. And now you're going to take your right leg into Baddha Konasana again. Okay, so one leg's in Baddha Konasana, one leg's in Upavistha, and we're going to turn toward that Upavistha leg. So again, that twisting action from the back waist, we're turning toward the left, back waist is turning, back, upper back, turning, lift up through the front chest. Coming back to the center. Now this time, we're going to go forward, hand on the calf. So making sure that this foot is descending. You're getting that external rotation on that top of the thigh. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. Press the Baddha Konasana knee down and thigh and come forward over that front leg. So you're still lengthening. These waist corners on both sides, lengthening toward the armpit area. And if you can catch your foot, catch your foot. If not, you can have a strap there as well. Take your other hand out to the side so you get that turn, so the trunk is moving over that front leg. And then reach that arm up. Come back to Upavistha and Baddha Konasana again. Other leg. So establish that stable position with the both hips, knee moving down, and then turning to that side. This leg is externally rotating. Move that knee down, move the thigh down, and reach up through the side trunk. And now start to move forward. Bring your hand on the outer calf. Walk the hand forward. And with that, lift up and turn toward that straight leg. You can feel that ringing action, that turning here. So allow your abdomen to turn. Stay there for a few breaths. If your knee is lifting off the floor or you have any sensation in your knee, just let it rest on the blanket so that the knee is feeling more balanced. So if you have a knee injury or the knee is lifting up, thigh is lifting up, take that support. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Taking your hand down on the outer foot or keeping it on the ankle or the calf or taking the strap. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, move forward. Use the other hand on the floor, balance yourself. So I'm using that to keep that weight through that Baddha Konasana leg. Coming forward. From this left waist corner, the hip is moving down, the waist is moving forward, and lengthening over the front leg. Be there. Feel that extension through the back. Observe your breath, quiet breath. And then straighten the arm, come up. Come back into Upavistha Konasana, so opening the legs, descending the thighs. Again, come forward one more time, hips down, extend the arms forward. Keep the pubic bone lifting upward. So the tailbone is moving down, the buttocks is moving down, and the side trunk, you're lengthening. So bring your arms forward, You can use the blocks, even walk forward now. So maybe after you've gone forward a few times and had a few twistings, there's more release in your body. So just move with your body, adjust with your body. Broaden the backs of the thighs, backs of the knees on the floor. Be on the heel. Draw the little toe side of the foot back towards you. Keep the feet active as you do that. Keep the kneecap active, moving up to the quadricep. Look up, and then bring your hands back. And now you're going to come into Adho Mukha Svanasana. So turn, bring your hands. Let's go into forward Virasana first. So hands wide, knees apart, draw your hips back. Establish that length, walk your hands forward. Spread the hands. Keep the wrists lifted, forearm lifted. Come onto the knees. Turn the toes under. And as you turn all the toes under, look back. Bend each toe. As you press the hands into the floor, lift up through the arms, bring the hips up. So you can feel the connection from the hands, lift the wrists, lift up through the elbow, through the upper arms, outer shoulders. As you press into the feet, lift the heels up, tightening the knees. Now start to roll over the mounds of the toes. So feel the mounds, press into the mounds, lift the toes up as you start to descend the heels down toward the floor. Press the heels down. If the heels aren't moving down, come a little bit closer with your feet, just so you can feel that connection of the heel. Press the heel down, move the thigh back, move the hips back, extend through the side trunk. And then come forward, come to Uttanasana. Have your feet wide. Take your hands wide. Release your head down. Walk your hands back. Release the head. So that length that you were creating when we were in these seated poses, now take that same broadness through the back of the leg. Spread the backs of the thighs. We often press our thighs forward and the back of the thigh gets kind of indented. There's no fullness there. So move out into the back of the thigh. And then come back into downward dog one more time. Have your heels a little bit closer so you can press your heels, press your hands down, lift up through the arms, extend through the side trunk. Okay, and then walk forward. From here, you're standing in Uttanasana, fingertips on the floor. If you need to have some more height, you can have height with blocks. If you don't require that, just have your fingertips on the floor. So always keeping those blocks there in case you need those. Now here, you're going to bring your feet together, toes together, heels together. Walk the hands back a little bit. Concave the back, so at that center of the dorsal spine, bring that in, look forward. And then hands either on the blocks or hands to the side. You're going to bring your, so bring the fingertips down, lift that leg. That standing leg, lift up, lift the pelvis up, suck the outer hip in, press that back heel as you lift the back leg, walk the fingers back, extend the heel away, move the crown of the head away, compact the legs, so the legs are not moving away from each other too much, but the inner thighs are close. And then bring your foot down. Again, lengthen. Create that space in the side of the trunk. Walk your foot back, toes down. Lift the leg up. Crown of the head moving forward, heel moving back. And then bring the leg back. And then sit down. Sit in Dandasana. Adjust the hips. Coming into Ardha Padma, so you're bending the knee, getting that external rotation. Take the foot on the thigh. Now, if it's difficult for you to do Padmasana, then just come into this Janu Sirsasana position that we came into before, but this time we're going over the front leg. So either Janu Sirsasana or Ardha Padma, Paschimottanasana, taking the leg over, and then you'll come forward, take hold of the foot or take hold of a strap. We won't bind. Inhale, lift up. So you're lifting your front ribs up over that heel. Start to come forward. You can also have blocks there. Walk your hands forward on the blocks, extend. So feel that length come through the back. It's kind of nice to have the blocks so you can walk your fingertips forward and go beyond the blocks. If the back is rounded, then stay up on the blocks and just work on bringing the back ribs in and extending forward. So wherever you are in this pose, use those blocks. Let the knee descend down and then come up. Straight legs, Dandasana, and then other side. Bend the leg. So when you bend that leg for Padmasana, half Padmasana, have the calf and the thigh moving towards one another. And when you bring the leg over, you can have your hand underneath the ankle and swing it over. If this is difficult for you to do, then you just come into that Janu Sirsasana leg. Now, because I have an old injury that's acting up a little bit, I'm going to bring this blanket here. So the knee is lifted, but when I go forward, the knee is going to be able to release down. So whatever, if you're using some support, don't have it too far underneath your calf muscle or your thigh, because as you go into these forward bends, you can release the knee down, and if you can, then you don't want to have the blanket blocking you. So here, lift your arms up, come forward, hands on the blocks, and then begin to go forward, any amount. Walking your hands forward, just looking down, quiet, relaxed face, relaxed breath. Whatever support you're using, feel that support, release the leg there. Inhale, come up, release the leg, come back into Dandasana. Come back into Baddha Konasana. Holding it underneath the toes. Bring your hands underneath the toes to have them on the floor. Holding around the feet, come forward again, pressing the heel, pressing the mounds of the foot, getting deeper into that opening of the front groin. Come forward any amount. Releasing the knees and thighs down as you go by just lengthening. So first you have to lengthen from the inner groin, and you have to be connected to the outer hip. So feeling those connections as you move forward. Inhale, come up. Come back to Dandasana. Fingertips behind you. Lift your lower back up. Bring the arms up, coming forward. Take a hold of the sides of the feet. If you want to have a strap there, you can use the strap. Once you have your blocks there, you can also use your blocks. So I'm going to take the block, turn it Instead of using 2, I'm just going to come forward, bring my hands forward, draw the little toe to the side of my foot back toward me, and lift up. So I'm still in a concave back position. Move the backs of the knees down, backs of the thighs down. And if you can go a little bit lower, then bend your elbows. Walk your hands down the block. Release the head. Inner knees descending. Straighten the arms. Lift the arms up. I'm going to come into Paschimottanasana. So raising that left arm up. Take the hand on the outer thigh. Back hand on the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. So maintaining that downward movement of the thighs and the hips, lift right up through the crown of the head. Lift the chest. Turn that back shoulder. Use that back hand to help you. You can turn the hand. Turn the hand in that opposite way and rotate that shoulder. And then look back over that arm. Look back over that shoulder. Observe the difference in the neck. And then look forward. And release. Adjusting. Raise the arms up again, Urdhva Prasarita. Bring the hand onto the outer leg. You can take the fingers just underneath that outer knee. Inhale, lift. Keep the heels extending. Spread through the toes. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale as you turn. Feeling that back body rotate. So as if there were a rod, which is your spine, and your whole trunk is rotating around that spine. And then finally, look over that back shoulder. Taking that hand, turn that hand, move that shoulder back, and then look over the front shoulder, and release. Okay, now we're going to come down on the floor and use the strap. And we'll come back to that Urdhva Prasarita Padasana, legs straight up. So have the strap on the heel. Abdomen moving down toward the lower back. Side waist corners moving down, the whole abdominal area here. Outer sides of the abdomen moving down. Now, if you don't need to hold that strap, then just bring your arms over your head. Thumbs on the floor, palms facing one another. Like we were in Dandasana, thighs moving away. Open the backs of the knees, extend from the calves to the heel, and then press up through the mounds of the toes. If you need to keep that strap, then you hold onto that strap. Roll your shoulders down. Let's keep the left leg lifted in that strap. Take the right leg out of the strap. Keep the legs firm. And then bring the leg down into more of a 60-degree angle. Maintaining the broadness through the back of the leg. Come down to a 45-degree angle, but still connecting back into the hip socket. Keep the abdomen moving toward the floor, navel moving down and up. Bring the leg down to 30 degrees. And then bring the leg up. Bring the foot into the strap. Press up through the heel. Press that heel into the strap and drive that femur bone into the hip socket. So you feel that connection of the bones stacked up over one another. And then with the other leg, having that same sense without the strap, bring the leg down to 60 degrees. Front ribs moving down, back ribs spreading. And then 45 degrees. Heel with the strap. Now, keep the strap on the ball of the foot. If it's difficult to keep the legs up, we're going to take the strap off, if it's not a problem, and then bring your arms over your head. As if you still had that strap, connect back into the upper leg, into the pelvis, and we're going to bring our legs into that 60, 45, 30, or 60, 45. We'll just do those two. And I want the sides of the navel to be lengthening, moving down, outer walls of the abdomen moving down. If you have any issue, just bring your hand underneath your lower back, and then we'll come into that position. So depending on your back, your practice, how you need to modify. Take your arms over the head or hold onto the strap, and you can do one leg at a time again as well. And then we'll come down, 60 degrees. Take a few breaths there. Come back to 90, 60, and again, 90. We'll come down to 45. Lower back on the floor. 90. Exhale, 45. Inhale, 90. 60. Exhale, 45. 90. Now let's go down to 45 as you exhale. Keep that connection of the heel back into the hips. If you have any tension in your lower back, bring your hands under your lower back. 60, 90. And let's just do one at 30. So coming down, exhale. 30, 90, 30, 90. One more. Inner knees moving away. Keep extending the arms. Inhale, lift up. Bend the knees, bring the feet onto the floor. Release your arms. Okay. So now we're going to come up. So you roll onto your side, come up, and we'll go to the wall. So you can take your strap around your arms. We're going to come into Adho Mukha Vrksasana. So standing up, have that strap, so it's going to be above the elbows. Take your hands wide. Coming down, spread the hands. Make sure there's nothing around you that's going to distract you or distract your mind. Okay, spread the fingers. Have that strap wide enough, but not too wide. I want you to be able to press into it and then come up, bend one knee, bring the other leg up, extend up, press into that strap, connect the heels together, connect the toes together, as if you were in Paschimottanasana. Move the thighs back to the wall, and now move the hips back to the wall. So the hips are at the wall, the thighs are at the wall, and you're in a little bit of a back bend here. Keep extending the legs up, keep pressing the hands down, lift up through the wrist, up through the forearms, elbows moving up and in, upper arms lifting. Look back at the wall. Come away from the wall. You bring one leg down, and then the other leg down. Come into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a few breaths there. And then walk in. We'll go up one more time. If you've already had enough, just go into forward Virasana. Coming up, press the hands, lift the wrist up, lift the forearms, and tighten the elbows. As you tighten the elbows, lift up through the upper arm, press into that strap, bring the shoulder blades in. Now bring your hips onto the wall, feeling that curve of the upper back, curving the neck, look back. If that's too much for you, just bring your hips away from the wall, extend up through the legs. Coming down with the other leg, bring your foot down, come back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then come forward. Come into Uttanasana. Take hold of your ankles this time, and bending your elbows, release your head, release your side trunk. Keep the legs firm. Relax the breath. As you hold on to the ankles, lift the shoulders up, away from the floor, and let the back of the head lengthen so the neck is extending, both sides even. Be with the breath. And then come up. Okay, we're going to take Savasana now. So you'll have a blanket for the head. If you have a bolster, you can bring the bolster on your thighs. If you have those bricks, you can just bring the bricks on the top of the thighs as well. So here, we're descending the thighs like we've been doing most of the class. So coming into that same direction, thighs are descending, backs of the legs on the floor, if you have those, and then extend your arms out to the side. Extend the heels. So you're extending through the backs of the legs. So I'm pulling my heels down a bit to extend the Achilles tendon, the calf, releasing the calf. Sometimes it gets stuck on the sticky mat. And then I'm lifting up slightly so I can bring those back ribs, lower back ribs, up toward the shoulders. So I'm not overarching in the back, but maintaining that length through the back body. As you release your arms, rolling the inner arm out, shoulders down, front armpit chest lifting from the tops of the shoulders, the back, the skin from the top of the shoulder to that armpit area is descending. Back of the head is lengthening. Relax the breath. Just be aware of your breath right now, what you can feel. Let your feet go, let your legs go, let your arms, your shoulders relax completely. And as you come into more quiet state, feeling the breath release and become more quiet. The exhalation becoming longer. Be in the flow of the breath. I'll let you know when it's time to come up, so just be there, completely surrendered, relaxed. Staying with the inhalation and the exhalation. Begin to deepen the breath, bend the elbows, bring the hands onto the body. As you take a few deeper breaths, just be aware of where you are, sensations in your body. If you have blocks on your bolster, take those away. The bolster to the side, bend the knees, roll onto your side, and press yourself up. Come into Sukhasana. Sit upright. Bringing your hands to the front of the chest. Come back to the breath. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. So visit this class regularly. It's good for that pelvic stability, that stimulation, which we all need in a grounded position and also in the inverted positions. You can visit the site for more variation on different kinds of poses. So take a look, continue to practice, be aware of your physical health, your mental health, and we'll see you in the next session. Namaste.